Hi, and in this video I'm going to be explaining to you how you can connect Feebi to ManyChat. Now before we get to ManyChat, the first thing you just want to make sure that you've done is that you've connected your Facebook Messenger. Now that if you have done this, then we can move over to the settings, we can then come over into ManyChat, and the first thing is that you're going to be able to do is to install the template. Now once you click install on the template, you are going to be able to then overview everything that is within inside of this template and then install. Now the first thing you're going to do is install it into the page that you would like to. For this demo, I'm going to be installing it into the Feebi template demo page. You can then look over everything again. The one thing that you want to do is make sure, just for ease, you can change this later, but just for simplicity, make sure that you have the default reply checked. Okay, make sure that thing is green. Then go to install. Now, the first thing that you're going to do is that we're going to ignore everything inside of the template page just here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go over to our settings, we're going to scroll down and then come to apps. If you scroll up, you will find that you've also installed the Feebi restaurant chatbot. Now all you're going to need to do is to jump back over to Feebi, jump over to API in the settings, generate an API key, copy this, come back to your ManyChat account and then paste that into there. Click save. You're not complete yet, okay? Then what you need to do is to copy my app key you see just here. You can see when you click it that you get the little green notifications saying that you've copied it to your clipboard. Come back over to Feebi, click into ManyChat and then paste your app key into there and then click connect. So you are now connected to ManyChat, but before we go ahead and carry on to anything else, I just want to show you one other thing inside of the template that you're going to want to know about before we can say that you are complete. So if we come over to your automations and go into the flows, we can then see that we have the default reply, and this is necessary. Okay, I'll come back to this in a second. Now what we have here is an additional extra welcome message. Now the welcome message, if you want to click into this flow, only sends this action where Feebi will basically welcome the user with the Feebi welcome that Feebi will have just by itself. So this way it's a nice way just to welcome people. Now inside of these two flows here, these are the two, this one's absolutely necessary. Okay, and this one is additional. Now, just to point out to you, the default reply, once you've installed the template, will install the default reply from this template. And you can see that that is just here. Okay, so this is a flow that you saw that said necessary inside of that folder earlier. So this is all you need to do to have everything set up with Feebi. All you need to make sure is that your default reply is the one that you installed, okay? You have done all the API keys like I showed you, and it is up to you if you would like to go ahead and change and update the welcome message to the one that we give you inside of the template. Now that all of that is done, you are completely set and ready to go with your Feebi template. There is nothing else that you need to do. You are fully set up. Now, before I leave you with just this, there is loads of extra flows that we have put into this folder for you that I think are going to be really useful for you to really expand upon Feebi and ManyChat. Now, the first thing we want to talk about is the human takeover functionality. Now, when it comes to using the human takeover functionality, the first thing you need to do is to come over to the flow that we've called pass over to human. You're going to need to edit this flow, and you're going to want to switch on this trigger. Now that this is switched on, you're now going to need to publish this and then swap back over to Feebi. Now, as you can see, you can choose who has priority over what is said. Now you can see here for the default replies, okay, which is the default response over here, okay. What we're going to do is say that ManyChat has priority. Now that ManyChat has our priority, what this means is when Feebi has something said to her and Phoebe does not understand, Phoebe would normally say, hey, I'm very sorry, I don't understand. And then this conversation would be pushed to the area here inside of Phoebe. But because you have given priority to the human takeover here, to ManyChat, what that will do is that it will trigger this flow here, and then you can then allow this user to then use the live chat within inside of ManyChat. And on top of this, what we're also doing is adding a tag. Now this tag, I'm going to explain to you how this works. So if we come back over to the human takeover folder and we go into the enable Phoebe folder, you'll see here that we have also got something else that we need to turn on, this event. Now what happens inside this event is saying that once that tag is applied from the flow that I showed you before, we are going to check a handful of things here and then remove the tag, basically saying that if we remove the tag, it'll allow Phoebe to converse with that user if that user starts to talk to the chatbot. Whilst in the time frame of waiting for a live agent, they won't be able to converse because the tag was applied, and inside of the default reply, okay, if we come over here, you can see that if this tag is applied, what we're going to do is that we're going to not send them the Phoebe action here for the response that they need. So let's just jump over to a part of this where you can control the template for when you would like Phoebe to start to reenact. So we've made this very simple. You can come into the install template section and you can basically say, would I like to resuscitate or let Phoebe come back to the conversation? Yes or no. If you say no, this means that the tag will not automatically be removed. And if it is not removed, then this means that Phoebe will never be able to converse with that person again until the tag is removed. If you'd like to know how to remove the tag, you can do that with inside of your live chat, and you can then remove the tag on the side for a selected user. If you would like Phoebe to respond after a certain amount of time, you can put here 3 hours. So 3 hours later, after the customer said, I would like to speak to a human, Phoebe will then be able to start to converse with this person, whether or not the human live chat agent has participated in the live chat or not. This is kind of useful because sometimes if you happen to wait for an amount of time, your user could end up wanting to have a conversation about something else, but still potentially want to have the human agent. So you can work on your live chat features and how you would like to make it work. And we've set something up very simple and basic for you to be able to constantly make sure that you've got AI powering your chatbot to make sure that you've got a better customer satisfaction. Now that you've understood everything to do with the extra capabilities with the human takeover, I'm now going to move over to the marketing side of it. Now, the marketing side, all of these flows are exactly the same. We haven't built a menu flow, we haven't built a coupon flow, we haven't built a pickup or delivery flow, and we haven't made a booking flow. We imagine that a lot of users across ManyChat have different types of ways that they would like to implement this, but we've made it very easy for you to apply what it is that you're doing to AI. Now, let's give you a very simple example. Inside of Phoebe, okay, inside of your venue details, you might have gone ahead and created some offers and discounts with what is here, but you might have something already powering, let's say, your offers and discounts. Now, if you have something else and you would like to be able to trigger a personal flow or your own flow that has your coupons and loyalty tickets inside of it, then you're going to be able to do this. All you need to do is come to this flow, click edit, and again turn on this trigger. Now, once you've turned on this trigger, we need to go back over to Phoebe, select the settings, go to ManyChat and find the coupons and loyalty section and say that ManyChat now has the priority. What this means is that it doesn't matter now how anybody asks for a coupon or a loyalty ticket or a voucher or any of these kind of scenarios. It doesn't matter how they ask for it. We are now going to send all of this to the ManyChat flow that has this trigger. And if this trigger is switched on, then everything will go very simply. Now, as you can see inside of this flow, this is exactly the same for the other types of the other 4 inside of this folder, but there is no message here and then there is a flow. The idea of what you are meant to do here is that you can come over to this and you can then replace this flow with whatever it is that you have inside of your chatbot for implementing the coupons or the bookings or the menus or pickup and delivery, giving you a very, very simple way for you to go ahead and implement your marketing alongside with AI. Now, this last folder, just to point out what it is, it's just the rubbish. This is just the flow that was selected inside of the marketing stuff. You can go ahead and delete this whenever you like to. It is used for absolutely nothing. There is nothing inside of it, so you're more than happy to go ahead and get rid of it. Now, I hope that you found this really useful. If you have any questions, you're more than happy to come and ask us at Feebi. You can contact us via our Facebook, our YouTube, or inside of our community. If you have questions, we love to answer them and we'd love to hear from you. So I hope you found this video useful and we'll hear from you soon.